Hey guys. So I took the liberty of already making the skeleton for this creature. I think I'm gonna do this now for all of the monster, like all the monster animations that I stream moving forward. Since I've done doing the whole skeleton multiple times for a whole bunch of creatures of different forms and shapes, I don't think it really adds much that I keep doing it on stream. They're really time consuming, and I feel like a lot of people would rather see me actually animate the creatures. So from now on, I'm going to try to get as much of the setup done off stream so I can save time on stream to just 100% focus on animating. That said, I'm only halfway through doing the meshes, so I still got to do some of the meshes. So that'll be what we start with. Is I'm just going to start finishing up these meshes that I'm working on. So I started here on the urchin. I did it's separated into two parts, the front and the back. I already did the front, so now I'm going to start working on the back. And in terms of reference, we got our own guys here. Both of the previous crab monsters I worked on. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see. Let me just find where the urchin is. Here it is. Okay, these are genuinely complicated. There's a lot of pieces on this one, so that means it's going to be a lot of points. Let's start creating. Make sure to double up on points so that these separate nicely. Here as well. And then let's see, so 3 more spikes, because each of these does have a separate bone. So I gotta make sure all of them have the appropriate number of points to separate them up. This thing is alive. The urchin? Nah, it's dead. I think the toxins are still alive though, so he can still smash you with it. And then is it toxins or venoms? Is that what it's called? Whatever, the poisonous bits of this urchin still work, so he can still smash you with it, and it'll hurt. Okay, so that looks like good separation. I'll add more points or delete points if I need to. So let's bind it to these ones. Actually, not that one. This one. And then attach to this one, which represents the staff, just as like a base for the points that I don't want connected to any of the spikes. Oh yeah, this guy hits hard. This is a really hard hitting monster. He's just really slow, so he's reliably going to go last, but he does hit very hard. so that's a lot of auto-calculated points. Let's move this to the very top. Just roughing out where I want the points to be. Stun resistance? Okay, let's see. It's fairly high. He's not immune to stun, but he's very resistant to stun. I think he's like, I want to say he's like, so at champion level he's like 105%, I think. I want to say that's how much stun resistance he has at champion. So a normal 140% stun has a 35% chance of stunning him. That's what I want to say. I know I gave him high stun resist. This might be a problem. I might have to go in and fix that. Definitely gonna have to fix that. Yeah, he hits hard. He's really tanky. I find when I'm fighting against this guy, he actually plays more of a support role in the fact that he has two very hard-hitting abilities that do that have dots. So he has the claw attack, which is the bleed, and then he has the urchin attack. He smashes with the urchin, which is the blight, and then he has a stun. And the stun's okay because, you know, it's annoying. It's a stun that also hits very hard. But it's mostly the dot elements that really hurt. Because what usually happens is, he's slow. So what happens is, usually the enemies hit your frontliners. Because this guy can only really hit the front line. He can hit people with in the back with this mace. But mostly he's aiming to hit the front line. And what ends up happening is, one of your heroes gets to lowish. And he gets hit by this guy, who brings him to death's door with a dot, and that ends up killing heroes most of the time if you don't prepare for it. By himself, he's still very threatening because he's got high damage, high stun resist, you know, but it's more manageable compared to some of the other creatures. But the fact that he's like insanely slow means it's very easy to plan around his attacks. Okay, let's separate these out so they're easier to see. Yeah, something like that works. So I don't want this orange next to each other either. Okay, that looks good. That's how, like, a lot of the monsters though in the dungeon is very they're very hard hitting. Almost all of them are like threats at every point in the fight. The person you have to prioritize depends completely on the comp you're running. Some comps work really great against certain monsters, others not so much. So you just gotta plan around what you need to take out for your party. Let's see. Okay, let's do a little bit of blending on some of these, just where I can. Okay, so now we just gotta rough test some of these, make sure they look okay. It's looking okay. was looking a little more funky. Where's this orange coming from? Oh, I connected this one. Okay, so let's remove that, because that's not actually a thing. Okay, so it's this. I'm gonna try to deal with this and this. So it's because of the points. Okay, so how would I deal with that? Let's try creating some extra points for that. See if I can fix it like that. It's gonna be a regular quest dungeon. So you go on, you know, the normal quests like exploring and killing monsters, and after you do that enough times, it unlocks the bosses, so you can start fighting the bosses. The goal of the dungeon is it's an end game dungeon, so it's hard. So because of that, a lot of it's kind of just like the challenge. Like a lot of the monsters are very tough. They're not pushovers. Multiple factions means you can't build a party that's gonna be great in the dungeon all the time, because the factions are designed so that each of them has different strengths and weaknesses, and that means you can't build a party that can cover all of those weaknesses. Like you can't build a party that can counter all three of them at the same time. And you also can't build a party that is super effective. How do I say this? You can't build a party that is defensively great against all three of them as well. You have to kind of find a compromise where wherever your weaknesses are in your party comp, you have to find ways to mitigate that for the dungeon. Okay, yeah, that looks really funky, so I might not do that actually. I might just remove those points. And I might just deal with the fact that this is gonna look a little funky. Actually, I got a better idea. Semi-okay. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. This one's a little more funky. That's fine. Yeah, you can't build a party that's gonna cheese it super hard. So one of them is like the classic strat in Darkest Dungeon is build your party to have about 2-ish speed extra, 2 to 3 speed extra on all your heroes, and then build a whole bunch of damage and accuracy. That's not going to work so well in this dungeon, specifically because of these guys. These guys are all very slow, so the extra 2 to 3 speed, while it guarantees that you go first, doesn't mean much, because without building that, you are very likely to go first anyways. So 2 to 3 speed isn't very effective against these guys in particular, because they're all super slow. Extra damage, you know, is always good. Extra accuracy is always good. But the thing about these guys is it's so tanky that you can't reliably burst them down on turn 1. So that means you have to play this fight out to about 2 to 3 turns, and each of them is a very hard hitting foe. So you have to be able to have a backup plan if you build such an offensive comp against these guys. Because if you just go full offense and try to race these guys down, then they'll end up doing a lot of damage to your party that you might not be able to keep up with So you have to find ways to mitigate that with things like guards, damage debuffs, accuracy debuffs, whatever you have to do to reduce the amount of damage that they can do to your party while you're trying to kill them. How many of this specific enemy, or how many? I'll need a more specific question. If you mean this enemy, then this enemy can appear, I think, about three maximum in a comp, but it's very rare that you find that many. Usually you'll find 1 or 2 in a single comp. But you can run into crazy, silly comps, like these 3 crab guys right here are the tankiest enemies they have. You can run into all 3 in one comp. So that's looking okay. It does weird things there, so let me see if... I don't know if there's much I can do about that. I might just deal with that. Looks fine. Okay, so I want this one to move down here. Only moves down, that's fine too. Yeah, if I only move it down, it's probably fine, so I'll just do that. This one needs to move up though. That's fine, okay. Cool. And pretty cool. Okay, so that's all of that. That's great. These guys down here, those are all good because they're individuals. Okay, that's good. Let's move on to the next complicated part, which is the mouthpiece. This one's gonna be complicated because there's a bunch of these bumps on his cheek that I want to like pulsate individually. So that's gonna get a little complicated, but it should be fun. Oh, HP amount, they're not over 50 each. They might actually be close to 50. I don't remember. I think they're 47. We'll see when they're in game. I adjusted, so I did a bit of playtesting and I decided to adjust all of the monsters' HPs to be lower because I found that while like they accomplished the goal I was going for, where they were too tanky to kill on turn 1 reliably, it would also drag the fight out to around 6 to 7 was the average if you wanted to play safely. So I just reduced the HP on everyone to try to mitigate that, because I found that it's a very hard balance between managing the fact that these are very tanky enemies and you have to kill them over the course of a few rounds versus these guys are so tanky that it's starting to become like a bit boring to fight them, Like it doesn't really feel like there's much like excitement in the fight when it goes this long. It doesn't feel like tense or anything like that. So I'm trying to find a good balance between that and the tankiness of these enemies, because it's an important aspect that I want to keep, is that you can't reliably burst these guys down on turn 1. So you have to adapt to fighting these guys like that, where you have to play it out over the course of a few rounds to make sure that you can kill them. But yeah, I think they're pretty high up there in HP. They're very tanky enemies. Plus they got really high prot. So we'll see in game once I bring them in there to see how much HP all of them have. Okay, so that's that. Let's do these bulges here. think I did this one too, so let's do that. And some points here on the chin to help that out. Okay, so that's that. Teeth are fine. At least they should be. Okay, delete these outer points. Okay, so we'll bind it to the head. All of this. All the points of the mouth, the chin. I don't need that. And then the top of the mouth. Proc can be really just negated by Grave Robber or Shield Breaker. Yeah, the big amount of HP can be a problem. Yeah, not ending the fight on turn 1 is the big thing. And Shield Break, these guys bring a lot of value to Grave Robber and Shield Breaker as well because of the prot negation, because they do still have very high prot. So, like, I found that when it comes to damage dealers, the premium damage dealer you want against these guys are anything that ignores prot, so blights and armor piercing attacks. If you have markers are really good against these guys, especially the markers with minus prot. That's a really great way to kill these guys faster, because it's over the course of a few turns, marks are definitely way more efficient than just straight up attacking against these guys. And then if you don't have those, then just straight up attacking is fine. If you have ways to reduce prot other than the marking, then do that too. And then mitigate their damage through debuffs of some sort, and then guards. Dodge is pretty good too. A lot of them aren't actually that accurate. So if you have a lot of dodgy characters, then on average you can reduce a lot of the damage they can deal. Okay, so what did it do to the mouth? It did an auto calculate, which means this is gonna be a pretty big mess to go through, but I'll do my best. Actually, let's see how it did at least. Oops. I probably did a horrible job, so start adjusting where I need to. Okay, that's the lower mouth. Okay, good to know. Enemy type is Eldritch. What level are you? Yeah, these guys are all Eldritch. They're 100% Eldritch, all of them. The dungeon itself unlocks once you have at least 4 level 4 heroes. Though it's highly recommended you go in with level 5 or 6 heroes. But it unlocks level 4 for whatever reason you decide you want to risk throwing level 4s into the dungeon. Okay, so let's start over. How's it looking? Okay, so let's just give it a try. Put points where you want to. Okay, so it's pretty rough, but we'll give it the good old try. Watch me never get to Sunken City because I can barely get level 3 heroes in MLD. Well, if you want to play vanilla, then you can definitely play vanilla to power level some guys instead of MLD, but I can only imagine how brutal this dungeon is going to be in MLD. Okay, so I gotta make sure I don't close the mouth because that's gonna look really bad. But let's work on this side here. Okay, I want to work on this tooth down here. That's going to be my priority right now. And that's mostly because of this point. Okay, it's still happening unfortunately. Let's see why. That's why, okay. Okay, let's work it out. And over here, let's just make it push a little bit more in some areas. Let's make the transition in between here a lot smoother. Okay, so the mouth's not going to open much, but that's fine. And then I want this to transition more into it. It's looking okay. I want to see what I can do here though. looks cool. Let's do the chin. I would like that to rotate more around the edges specifically. Okay, I want more there as well, so let's push it some more. And a little bit there. Cool. Okay, so those two start here. Okay, let's see how those look. That's fine. It's pretty fine. Okay, those all look good. Let's see if they mess with this at all. Still looks good. Okay, so that should be, yeah, that's all of that good. Let's do this one next. This one should be nice and easy. Bind that to the head, and this should be good. Okay, probably good. Okay, what else is left? Let's see. Not much left. This arm's probably the last thing, as far as I can see. Which is good. That arm's gonna be nice and easy. So let's start working on that. What's up, Lone Wolf? I wish you could mod this game for Xbox. Yeah. Mods and things other than PC though are a very tricky ordeal, unfortunately. Okay, let's roll with that. Okay, see you, Mary. Thanks for stopping by. So this is actually this isn't a class mod; it's a enemy, and he's primarily a very tanky damage dealer. That's the summary of what he is. He's very dangerous in that he applies a lot of dots on his attacks, damage over time effects, and that can lead to things like two of his allies hits one of your dudes, and then he hits them as the last one, which causes them to have a blight or a bleed applied to them, and then they could die next turn. That type of stuff, you know, the classic ways monsters can kill your party. And then because of how tanky he is, you can't burst him down on turn 1. You have to play out the fight to about 2 to 3 turns and kill him slowly over the course of those rounds, rather than in a burst on round 1. And yeah, I'm just working on getting the model set up for animation. I tried to get it done before the stream, but I didn't really have the time, unfortunately. Okay, looks good. I think it's unlikely that we actually see this hand that much, so as long as it's not bending too much, it should be fine. Okay, I want to say that's everything. I'm just gonna double check everything to make sure I get everything right. Let's just do this one as a mesh as well, just in case. And then delete out these points. Hey man, I just wanted to say your mods are by far the best ones on the Steam Workshop. All the classes are great and love the backstories you make. I think your favorite being the Thorough. Thanks, Barracuda. Love your content, by the way. I just can't mod it for Xbox. Yeah, it's unfortunate that the mod ability is really only PC exclusive because, you know, like having user created content on consoles and stuff like that can be a little tricky given their policies and stuff. But you know, at least we have it, right? It'd be better than not having it, so at least there's a place, at least PC, at least on PC we can do this type of stuff. Yeah, I'm not really sure how this is gonna look, so I'll just rough it in for now, and then we'll mess around. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. I put over well over 100 mods. Yeah, there's a lot of great mods out there too, for sure. Okay, everything looks good there. That's fine. I think that's all of the meshes. Yeah, it looks like it. This guy's a lot of shells, so there's not much I gotta do with the meshes on this guy. Okay, so let's get to animating. He's gonna be 35 frames, and these crabs are also 35 frames, so let's animate on that. I'll just grab whatever this guy's doing. Okay, at 20, it's 34 frames. Okay, let's just save that. And he's animating on 21 frames. I'll just do 20 for simplicity. So let's do some stuff. Turn off image selection. I'm not gonna need that for this. Just gonna try to get the body's basic movement in. More range support heroes? Yeah, for sure. I've been looking into doing frontliners though. There seems to be a lack of reliable frontliners. Give me a sec, I forgot to connect one bone. This one's got to connect to the spine. So now if I move this. Okay, cool. Good. Okay, I'm gonna work with that for now, that movement. And adjust it if I want to later. So it goes up. Okay, so let me adjust some of the draw order here, because it looks like it got messed up. Adjust these slightly so they don't move as much. Okay, let's adjust the body. So he's going up. So let's move these up slightly. Same with this. This has got to move up. Okay, let's add the rotation. Let me think how I wanted this arm to move. Okay, so let's try this. Seems quite cool. I just want to try making something like this. Yeah, what's up, Simpire? Yeah, this is like my favorite thing to do in my free time is just work on mods and stuff. Super fun, especially since I can do crazy things like a whole bunch of crab people. So it's cool. Okay, I think the mace is gonna look better once I add the offset. Thanks, Empire. Art, everything, concept. Yeah, I try to do crazy things sometimes. Like urchin mace was a good one. I liked crab with a bunch of swords in them. I like barnacle crab, and the rest are, you know, like shrimps and stuff. So I like taking weird ideas and turning them into things. If that's not obvious yet. Okay, let's do the back. So he's going up. Okay, let's start adding offsets. This one's really heavy, so it's gotta have a heavy offset. Same here. I'm spending a little more than I'd like. Is he dipping into the ground? No, he's not, so that's fine. Still gotta do clavicles actually, so I'm gonna hold off on that. So let's do the clavicles, all moving about. Can't wait for Sunken City. Yeah, it's gonna take a really long time though, unfortunately, but once it comes out, I'll be sure. Yeah, you can be sure that it's gonna be a super high quality mod. So I just gotta adjust the arm again now that I've done that. So I want to offset these arms. This arm is specifically heavier than the other one, so let's do that. Okay, so now it's breaking the arm. That's fine. I can fix that. Both of these arms are the exact same weight. Let's fix the arm so it doesn't look dumb. It's breaking very specifically here, so let's fix it. Okay, let's try working with that. What's up, Mikhail? Red Wing, what's up, spooky guy? Yeah, Sunken City. Yeah, that's the name of the whole dungeon mod. That's the name of the whole thing. This is a big, gigantic dungeon mod with a whole bunch of monsters, and this is why I'm working on crabs. It's because crabs are one of the enemies that you could fight. And these are the enemies I'm working on. It's taking a really long time because there's a lot of stuff I gotta do for it, but it's super fun to work on. And once it's 100% finished, I'm sure the payoff is going to be worth it. Okay, see ya, Empire. Blight Crab? Yeah, he's a Blight Crab. He's got a Blight with his mace, and he's got a Bleed with his claw. So he's got both of the damage over time effects that he can use on you. And what I've found that his role is in a fight is he's the killer. He's the guy who pinches or smashes your low health hero, applies the dot, and then kills them with the dot. That's usually how this guy works. And if he's not doing that, then he hits you with a clawed stun instead, and the stun itself can be very detrimental to your frontliners. Oh, this little bitty claw right here, yeah. Hiding it behind this big claw. Okay, let's start working on this one because this is probably going to be a big part of the animation, is how this claw looks. interesting. Bone Bishop looks good. Thanks to Kale. That one took freaking forever, but I think the outcome was worth it. I want this guy to do kind of like very rapid claw movement, you know? Like he's ready to snap someone. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let's give it a try, okay. What's this guy doing for his claw? It's gonna take a little bit of fiddling to make it look good. A little too fast. Okay. I'm gonna have to spend a little bit of time to know if I actually like that or not. So let's work on some other stuff. Okay, I want to do some more stuff with the shell. I'm not super into it right now. I think I like that better, yeah, for sure. There's one, actually, if there's one thing I'm gonna add, it's gonna be a slight rotate. Okay. I think I like that a lot more, yeah, for sure. Matches the arm pretty well too. Okay, let's do the more tedious one, which is all of these urchin parts here. Let's do all that. Oh my god, so many parts. Okay. I think that's all of them. Okay. I didn't do this one. Okay, and then now we gotta just put the curve thing and then do it on the ends. That looks like an urchin. Okay, let's try doing the ends. So many spikes. Okay, let's see if it looks good. Looks like an urchin. That's a Koa bolt. Yeah, we're in the middle of animating him. I'm liking where it's going so far. Just throwing in offsets right now, where I can. There we go, he's all spiky. Spiky little urchin on a stick. Okay, let's do the breathing. See what this boy's doing. A little extreme. Give him that good old mouth breathing look. And then offset it. Goes up. Let's have the nose rotate just slightly. Really detailed animation. Yeah, I try to put subtleness where I can in these. Yeah, crab people hurt for sure. Lots of bleeds from these guys, and it definitely hurts hard. You gotta be careful around these guys. Going 100% full offense for like round 1 annihilation isn't gonna work well in these. So you gotta have backup plans in your strategies, for sure. Okay, let's make his cheeks pulsate weirdly. Might be able to actually push it more. Pretty grody. His chin's also going to be doing the same thing. Okay, so let's have it rotate down, maybe even slodge. There we go. Just make it extra nasty. It's a little extreme actually, so. Pretty grody. Yeah, rip Hellion. Not gonna lie, I actually lost to Hellion to these guys. Got nuked hard. Didn't take the proper precautions in my team comp, so I didn't have defensive options, and I got wrecked. I'm trying to think if this is too much. I'm gonna keep it as is and decide later, actually. Can I afford to have this rotate? Maybe just a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, everything's looking good so far. Still need to work on his hand. They have almost no blight resist. It's like in the 10 to 20 per. It's like the 50 to 60% range, I think, is average for the crabs. So things like plague doctors, shield breakers, grave robbers, those are great against the crabs because they do a whole bunch of damage. Their only weakness though is that all those characters are so fragile, so you gotta find ways to protect them while they're destroying these guys. It's coming along. I like him. Let's give him that nice eye blinking. So let's see. Oh, oops, I did it the wrong way. Okay, let's offset that slightly. So he blinks at a different time. Where'd they go? What's up, Nasira? How you doing? I just adore the designs of the enemies. I was wondering if there's anything I could learn more about their lore. Nothing I'm really ready to share right now, but they're just, you know, crab people. They're stronger than the people from the Cove, gameplay wise and lore wise. So that's about it, really, for now. Okay, let's do this chest pieces. Pecs could use some movement. I want to say he's done. So you gotta think it over though. Specifically this mouth part. Still thinking about that. I might want to exaggerate this movement as well, so might give that a try. I want that more offset, so let's try to offset it some more. I'll figure this out slowly. I'm trying to find like a good feeling for it. I think I like that. Okay, I think I can improve the claw as well, so I'm gonna do that. Oh, did the music die? Oh, wow. That's weird. For some reason, YouTube paused the music. I don't know why. It's really weird. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so it's back. Let's see how the claw looks. Looks like a battle crab for sure. Well, he looks like a crab ready for battle, that's for sure. Just examining them one last time, see if I like everything. So far I think it's a yes. Okay, yeah, I do. Okay, so that's gonna be the animation. So now we're gonna see it in game, see if make sure it looks 100% good next to everyone else. So I'm gonna export that, and now we can check it out in game. Give me a second to hook that up. Okay, it's uploading now. Yeah, not in Sunken City though, unfortunately, Akale. It'll be in the Weald, as usual. Because I can't guarantee that I'll run into him in the Sunken City if I just run around the place. But I can in the Weald. I've coded it so he spawns in the tutorial. Okay, looks like it's uploaded. Downloading now. Okay, nice and quick. Let's get into the darkest dungeon. See how this guy looks. So missing stuff, that's fine. Really quick load time, which is great. Okay, let's see. Don't crash. Hey, there he is. Stunned Reynold, okay. That means he actually shrunk, so let's unshrink them. Plus 25% crit? Dang, I'm pretty mean. I don't know why I was so mean to give plus 25% crit to enemies, but I was. Sunken City, it's a dungeon mod I'm working on. It's gonna take a really long time to finish, but I'm prioritizing quality, so it's gonna take a real long time. And these are the monsters I'm working on for it. Okay, let's see how he looks. Let's see. Looking good. Okay, HP wise, 39, 47, and 94, which is relatively high for champion level. And then stun resistance wise, these two are pretty high up there. And this guy's basically super stunnable. That's like this guy's big weakness, is that he's a very stunnable enemy. And blight resist is really low on all of them as well. I like them. Always blown away by how well they fit into the game. Thanks. I try really hard to make sure they fit. You know, that's one of the fun things I like about working on Darkest Dungeon mods, is imitating the art style with these crazy creatures. Okay, I'm liking him. Very distinct. The original version I drew of this guy I didn't really like much, because he just kind of... He didn't read menacingly. He, like, his big things, which were his urchin mace and his claw, weren't reading at all. It was mostly the claw. You couldn't even tell this was a mace in the first iteration. So I buffed it up, you know, now it's huge. Very readable. So I'm glad that I redid this guy, and he looks fitting with the rest of the crabs now. They all got, like, they all have their own, like, little personalities now, in terms of, like, the way they look and how they act. Okay guys, so that's gonna do it for the stream. Thanks for tuning in. I'll definitely try to shorten down the streams now by doing setup before the stream starts, so you don't have to watch too much of that, because I've done it enough that I think people aren't really going to gain much from watching that over and over on different things. But the animation part's definitely really fun, doing the animations and stuff. So I'll be back next week. I'm either gonna animate a monster or I'm gonna animate a effect. One of those two. The effects are gonna be, if I do an effect, I want to try to do a really crazy effect, but usually I don't spend much time on effects. Effects are really fast for me, and those ones take a little bit more fiddling in game, because you really got to see how the effect looks when everything's moving around. But yeah, it's either an effect or a monster next week. I haven't decided yet. Okay guys, thanks for tuning in. See you next week.